Everyone who's watched the miniseries Chernobyl remembers the number 3.6. Not great, not terrible. And they all remember the scene where General Pikalov comes back from the plant and says,
"It's not 3 Röntgen. It's 15,000.
3.6 and 15,000. Two numbers that, to the technical expert, tell the entire story. But not to everyone else. We too use numbers all the time to explain things, ask for things, present things. Engineering, sales, marketing, management, everybody uses numbers. Thing is though, numbers don't always speak for themselves. So the challenge is, how do we convey the full meaning and the importance of a number such that our audience understands its impact and understands what needs to be done? I mean, we only know what 3.6 and 15,000 mean because the show told a great story about it. But when we present our numbers, we're not going to have HBO doing it for us. We have to tell a great story. Let's get back to the show and follow Legasov, our expert, as he has to explain and present these numbers over and over again. He's having to explain 3.6 to the political bureau. Not only how dangerous 3.6 really is, but its particular meaning, what it could represent, and why it shouldn't be trusted. It's a suspicious number.
Yes, 3.6 Röntgen, which, by the way, is not the equivalent of 1 chest X-ray, but rather 400 chest X-rays. That number's been bothering me for a different reason, though. It's also the maximum reading on low-limit dosimeters. They gave us the number they had. I think the true number is much, much higher. If I'm right, this fireman was holding the equivalent of 4 million chest X-rays in his hand.
He's then having to explain what 15,000, the number General Pikalov just told, means. In fact, Boris outright asks him,
"What does that number mean?"
"Thanks, Boris. This is one of the clearest tell me the story behind the number requests I've ever seen. You're doing my job for me." And Legasov obliges. He's telling them what its implications are in terms of damage of gravity.
It means the core is open. It means the fire we're watching with our own eyes is giving off nearly twice the radiation released by the bomb in Hiroshima. And that's every single hour, hour after hour. 20 hours since the explosion, so 40 bombs worth by now. 48 more tomorrow, and it will not stop. Not in a week, not in a month. It will burn and spread its poison until the entire continent is dead.
And he's indirectly telling them that the plant managers have been lying through their teeth.
Please escort Comrades Brekhanov and Fomin to the local party headquarters. Thank you for your service. Your excuse.
Legasov is, like many experts, frustrated by the ignorance and the political games of management. He's frustrated that the obvious problems that he sees are minimized and ignored by those in power. He's angry that the self-evident must be explained, and yet he moves beyond his frustration and he does explain it eloquently, vividly. He tells the relevant stories that bring these numbers to life, and that's what makes him effective. It's not enough for him to know. He has to make the relevant others know, so what needs to be done gets done. Your conditions are almost certainly not as bad as Legasov's, I hope, but you too will have to explain what is obvious to you, but not obvious to others. Others you need. You too must move beyond frustration and find the stories that give meaning to the critical numbers, because frequently numbers do not speak for themselves. This course is about the 4 questions you need to ask yourself when you present numbers and the techniques you can use to give them meaning. We'll look at a few examples, analyze them, see what works and what doesn't. Let's go!